Hi, I'm Sue Kramer with SueKramerCoaching.com, and today we're going to talk about starting a ketogenic diet. So I am going to share my screen with you and we will get started. So basically what a ketogenic diet does is switching your body from burning sugar or glucose for fuel to burning fat for fuel. When we want to lose weight, we want our bodies to burn fat for fuel. And there are countless diets out there having you count calories or points or fat grams, but studies show that they are not sustainable because many of them end up being starvation type diets where you're so focused on eating less, which leads to two bad results. Number one, that your hunger wins out, which is actually how God created us so that we wouldn't starve and we would eat. And the second thing is that our metabolism slows down to, again, prevent us from starving on such a low caloric intake. But when we switch our bodies from burning fat for fuel, we eat satiating meals and don't feel hungry all the time. To do that, we have to address the hormone responsible for determining whether or not we're burning glucose or fat. Enter the hormone insulin. Insulin is a hero. Insulin's main job is to move glucose from our bloodstream into the body's cells to make energy. Well, this is very good. We need insulin. But when we put too much glucose into our body by eating high amounts of carbohydrates, it causes our pancreas to keep pumping more and more insulin into our bloodstream as it tries to get that glucose into our cells. Well, when the cells that need it for energy are full, insulin will then put that into our fat cells and store it, which stored fat is weight. We gain weight that way. So if we continue eating high levels of carbohydrates, which turn to sugar in our bloodstream, over the years, it can also lead to cells resisting insulin, which is where we get the term insulin resistance. Insulin resistance leads to prediabetes, and that can lead to type 2 diabetes if we don't make lifestyle changes. Statistics show that approximately 1 in 3 people are pre-diabetic, and 80% of them don't even know it. The ketogenic diet is a wonderful way to control blood sugar and insulin levels. So let's do this, all right? So back to our focus of becoming a fat burner. When your blood sugar levels are high, your body will burn glucose for energy or fuel, also known as a sugar burning mode, okay? But you can switch your body to burn fat by keeping blood sugar levels lower. We need more insulin when we're eating a lot of carbohydrates. But when we lower our carbs, we lower the amount of glucose and insulin in our blood, and our body will look to fat to burn for fuel, okay? So when our insulin levels are low on a low carbohydrate diet, our body switches to fat burning, and it gets into what is called a state of ketosis, and it produces ketones. Your body functions very well when in ketosis, and your brain is optimized by ketones circulating in your bloodstream and in your brain. A lot of times people just call it the magic sauce. It helps you think clearer, that fog lifts. It's really good. So now every time we eat, our body responds with some insulin. It gives more insulin with more carbs and less insulin with less carbs. I know I'm kind of saying the same thing over and over. This is where it gets confusing. But if we want to lessen the amount of insulin being released, not only do we want to have less carbohydrates, we also want to lessen the amount of times a day that we're eating throughout the day. All right. So that leaves us to namely snacking and grazing, because even when it's low carbs, you're still pressing that insulin button all day long, kind of getting a little more, getting a little more. And so it's much better to eat bigger meals that satiate you and help you feel full all day long, all right? You should not feel hungry all the time when you're on a healthy ketogenic diet. This is not a starvation diet or a way of eating at all. Those are unsustainable. And even though you can lose weight by restricting calories and stuff, you will likely gain all that back and even more when you start eating normal again. So let's eat to fill ourselves up now and not have to go through that and lose the weight. So how low do you need to get your carbohydrates intake to burn fat? Well, first of all, I want to say we're going to focus more on low carbohydrates and on more proteins and fats, okay? Because we want to do that as a switch. And to burn, to become a fat burner, you're going to want to be on about 20 grams or less of carbohydrates per day. The basic ketogenic diet is right there, and that will get you into ketosis. Now, that is compared to the average diet based on current food pyramids and standard American diet, which has us around 250 carbs per day or more. Lowering your carbs at all, even 50 to 100 grams a day, is going to be so much better for your overall health. But when we're focusing on a ketogenic diet and burning fat for fuel, you'll want to be down in that 20 grams or less per day, all right? So here is a comparison of the standard American diet pyramid and the ketogenic food pyramid. On the standard food pyramid, it's loaded with breads and carbs at the bottom, pastas and rice. Remember that this recommends us 6 to 11 servings per day. And that is crazy given what we know about what grains and starches do to our blood and our blood sugar and affect that is crazy given that now what we know about grains and starches and what they do to our blood sugar, and the effect being a national epidemic of diabetes related diseases. So notice on the ketogenic side, though, we have lots of healthy meats and fats at the bottom, and it is suggested that 30 grams of protein per meal seems to be the sweet spot to keep you feeling full and having energy. So don't necessarily look to lean mates. Eat the fatty cuts, eat the ground beef, and eat the eggs. Eggs are good for you, and they've debunked that old myth about eggs being so dangerous or raising our cholesterol, because in reality, they are the perfect blend of protein and fat and lots of healthy nutrients. So eat those eggs. Also, make sure you're having healthy fats. This is so important. We have to ditch the low fat mindset. It's not the 80s anymore, and we know better now. Healthy fats will help you feel fuller and calmer and just better overall. They are so good for you, for your brain and for your nervous system. Think avocado, think real butter, olives, coconut oil, and animal fats. Put butter on your veggies and healthy olive oil on your salads. And are you still afraid of fats? Let me tell you this. Check out this book by Nina Teicholz. It's called The Big Fat Surprise. I'll put a link below. It is an amazing book and just upended the industry. I'm telling you, just incredible. And Nina says, what I found incredibly was not only that it was a mistake to restrict fat, but also that our fear of saturated fats in animal foods, butter, eggs, and meat has never been based in solid science. So check it out. It's so true. Healthy fats are very, very good for us. However, there are some that we are going to want to avoid. And these are the canola oils, the soybean oil, corn, cottonseed, and all the other vegetable oils, which actually have no vegetables whatsoever in them. But what they do have in them is a lot of chemicals and GMOs. They're highly inflammatory, and inflammation is the gateway to disease, to pain, and all kinds of problems in our body, all right? Most processed foods have seed oils, so read those labels, get picky with what you have. You're worth it. Take care of yourself, eat the healthy fats, invest in food that is healthy for you and good for you. These unhealthy oils, one more thing, will also lead to weight gain. They cause so many issues in your problem. They disrupt your system. They hurt your gut. They're not going to help you lose weight and reach your goals, okay? So pay attention to that. Next one is, again, our pyramid, our healthy pyramid. You see all the healthy fats and the meats, and then you go into the low carb veggies, and then you've got some low carb fruits on top with raspberries, blackberries, and strawberries. Notice, no grains, no flours, no breads, no pastas, no cereals. You're also going to probably want to avoid things like potatoes and very starchy vegetables, especially in the beginning of this journey, all right? Where you end up, you may moderate them down the road, but right now, to get into ketosis and to get your body burning fat, you're going to want to take those out of your diet for a little bit, okay? I have lists on my website on SueKramerCoaching.com. You can go in there, there's a tab called resources, and there's a couple of pages on there that give you menu ideas, food lists, things you can print out and take to the grocery store with you. So check that out. Like I said, it's all on my website. Go look at that. The other thing you're going to really want to pay attention to is food labels. This is really important. You're going to become a food label detective, because the number you want to focus on is that carbohydrate number, not the sugar number, not the fat number, not even the calories at this point, okay? We're just going to focus on total carbohydrates, not net carbohydrates, but total carbohydrates, okay? So to sum all this up, trying to make this a quick video, you're going to want to get your body into a fat burning state by, number one, lowering your carbohydrates to 20 grams or under per day and switching your body into a fat burning mode. Then you're going to want to eat only when you're hungry, not when you're bored, not when you're sad, not when you're lonely or stressed. Okay? You're going to want to eat full meals and not snack, because you don't want to be hitting that insulin button all day long, having your body having to respond. But if you do want a snack and need a snack, choose low carb snacks. Ditch the granola bars. None of them are probably any good for you at all. Nuts, cheese, things like that. Pepperoni, some deli meats, things like that for snacks, okay? Read labels. We talked about that. Rethink breakfast. Oatmeals, breads, cereals are all going to spike your blood sugar and push lots of fat storing insulin into your system. So you're starting your day putting your body in a fat storage mode, not a fat burning mode. All right. Change what breakfast looks like for you. There is nothing wrong with eating last night's dinner for leftovers for breakfast. Who says breakfast has to look like cereal? Oh, wait, the cereal companies. Anyway, also, thanks to the cereal companies, they gave us the fallacy that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Not true. If you're not hungry, skip breakfast and just go right to lunch. Kind of brings you into basically an intermittent fasting situation, which is wonderful for your body. I don't have time to get into that now, but if you want to know more about that, look up Mindy Pelz, P-E-L-Z. I'll put a link in the bottom. She has a great book called Fast Like a Girl, and then she just came out with another one for postmenopausal women, I believe. She really focuses on hormones and hunger and fasting and how good and healthy it is for us. So check out Mindy Pelz, and her YouTube page is phenomenal too. Okay. Now coffee. Okay, it would be wrong for me as a former coffee shop owner and official coffee snob to not address the coffee issue. This is something that comes up all the time when I'm coaching and with clients, in my groups, one-on-one. I love coffee. I know a lot of you love coffee too, and we love our creamy coffee and we love our sweet creamy coffee, right? But I care about you too much not to tell you that it is going to derail you if you're drinking sugar in your coffee. You are not going to be able to probably not going to be able to get into ketosis. I would be very surprised if you can have sweet creamy coffee every day and still get into fat burning mode. Maybe if you're only having a tiny bit, it would work, but you're going to have to count it into your carbohydrate intake, okay? You're going to have to really pay attention to that. That doesn't mean you're hopeless and you can't enjoy a good cup of coffee. I know you're going, I can't drink black coffee. And if you absolutely can't, then get yourself some heavy whipping cream. Not milk, not 2%, not even half and half. You want heavy whipping cream, because all of those other ones are probably going to bump your blood sugar. Heavy whipping cream. I have a frother that heats it and froths it. And I throw some sprinkles of cinnamon in there, and it's fabulous. I love it. So if you also have to have sweet in there, there's stevia, monk fruit, allulose. Those are good sweeteners that I would trust. There are other ones. If you need them to help you get through quitting sugar and getting over drinking sweet coffee, then use them. But ultimately, I hope that down the road we can get beyond that, because a lot of those are not great for our gut at all. So I want you to be healthy, not just thin, not just losing weight. Okay. So I believe still, though, that whole coffee is good for us. It has a lot of polyphenols, and there's great research on the benefits of coffee and antioxidants. So drink that coffee, but the sugar in it is probably not going to help you on this journey. Another tip I don't have on there is make sure you're only really eating when you're actually hungry, okay? Not just wanting a snack or food because you're bored or stressed or sad. These are things that are very real, and in all my coaching, especially all my health coaching, turns into life coaching, because so many times we end up in this place where we're realizing as we're going through this journey that we're eating not because of hunger, but there's another need in us, and it we're going to have to learn. What we have to do is figure out where that's coming from. Am I eating because I'm sad, I'm anxious, I'm stressed, I'm worried, I'm tired, I'm bored, I'm lonely? It happens. We do it. I'm telling you, I would say 90% of the people that I work with are dealing with this. And but we can deal with it. That's the thing, is realizing it, getting curious about why it's there helps us and makes us stronger. And it's what gets us through this journey truly successful, in my opinion, is actually dealing with these things and acknowledging that there's more going on here than just food. And so this was really to help you get into a ketogenic state, into a fat burning state, but there's so much more. But this at least will get you started. So this is that starting point. It's not going to be where you land in the long run. I am almost positive that this will be an evolving situation for you with food. You'll start introducing other foods down the road after you get yourself in a fat burning mode, and you'll figure out what works best for you. What are the foods that you can moderate and have some of, and what are the foods you just plain have to abstain from? Okay, so movement is important, stress is important, sleep, it all plays a part, and even some genetics. A lot of times, though, I think we put way more weight in genetics. We think, well, so and so, all my family members were type 2 diabetics. Type 2 diabetes is almost always reversible. And so we just have to learn and change our lifestyle to do that. That's not necessarily a genetic situation at all. I think there's a phrase that says that genetics loads the gun, but diet pulls the trigger. So you have influence in the way that you feed and take care of yourself to become a healthy and strong and beautiful woman that God created you to be. So give us a thumbs up if this was helpful. Share it with friends. And if you have questions, please reach out to me through my website. I do one-on-one personalized coaching and group coaching. I do that in person. I do that online. So I would love to support you on your journey to living well. Thanks for watching.